Hello, Stampers. I'm Terry Hartley at Rustic Barn Cards. Welcome. I'm glad you're here. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the United States. And if this is your first time here, I'm glad you found me. Please consider subscribing by clicking that subscribe button down below. And I appreciate all of you that are returning. Today I have a quick and easy card using Nature's Harvest. And I'm going to be making my own background with one of the stamps in the stamp set. So let me turn the camera down and let's start stamping. Okay, I'll be really quick. It's just that celebration is still going on through the end of September. For every $50 order you place, you're able to choose a free item from the celebration catalog. So that is really great. It is also a great time if you've ever thought about joining Stampin'Up. This is a perfect time to choose your starter kit, because not only do you choose $125 worth of product and pay only $99 plus free shipping, right now during celebration through the end of September, you can choose a free bundle, which is a stamp set and dies, or a stamp set and a punch. And you have 12 different bundles that you can choose from for your free gift. And these are all out of our mini July through December holiday catalog. So again, I like being a part of Stampin' Up! Because I get my catalogs early. I have a discount. You can, after your starter kit, you can immediately start saving 20% off of all your products. I love the coordination of Stampin' Up!, how the ink matches the cardstock, and also all the friends that I have made by joining Stampin' Up! So again, if you thought about it, this is a really good time. I would love for you to be part of the Rustic Barn Stampers team. So again, you can reach out to me by calling me or emailing me if you have any questions, and I'll have more information down below in the description. So today, my card, I'm going to use Nature's Harvest, and I do have two other cards to show you, so please stay with me to the end. Now this, I'm just going to use the stamp set today, but this stamp set, Nature's Harvest, also comes with dies. And if you buy the dies and the stamp set together, you do save 10%. But again, I'm just using the stamp set, and you can buy the stamp set by itself. And this is on page 56 in our mini July through December 2021 catalog. And I'm going to be using this image right here and the thank you. Seems like I need lots of thank you cards. But in this stamp set, you have a smaller image of a flower, kind of a background, a sentiment for good luck, a reminder to never forget how much you mean to me and so many others. I really like this sentiment. And then sending healing thoughts, may nature's beauty bring peace to your soul. So lots of great sentiments that you can use on different occasions for a lot of different cards. So let me set this aside and bring in our materials, that what we need. So our card base is polished pink, and this is 8.5 by 5.5, and it's folded in half. And I do like to run our bone folder over to crease the edge a little bit better. And then I have a basic white cardstock for the inside layer that is 5 1/4 by 4. Another basic white that is 4 1/4 by 3 1/2. And then our sentiment piece. This is 3/4 of an inch by 6. And that's turned up a little bit on the edge, but we're gonna, you're not gonna be able to see this edge of our sentiment on our card. So we don't have a lot of pieces to this card. And again, I'm going to be making a background. So we're going to make our own background, which is kind of fun. It's kind of like making your own designer series paper, right? So I'm going to open up our card base, and I am going to be using the same color, polished pink ink, to make our background on our polished pink cardstock. And then I've already added our stamp to our block. I'm going to go ahead and ink that up. I have brought in a little small grid paper that you can also purchase from my online store. So I'm going to ink up our flower, and then I am going to stamp off on my scrap paper, and then I am going to stamp on my cardstock. So I'm going to stamp off, and then I'm going to stamp on. So I'm going to stamp off, and then I'm going to stamp on. Notice right here I did not get a really good impression, and I think I can come back in and see if we can fix that. So I'm stamping off. Now you could stamp, I'm going to fold this in half now so I don't get any flour on the back of the card. But you could stamp full strength. But the reason that I'm not is because I would like the layer that I'm going to put on top, I am going to stamp full strength. And then that way it will pop more. So I'm inking it up and then just turning the card and stamping. So I'm inking it up, stamping off on my scrap paper, and then stamping onto my background. I don't have to worry so much about the middle of the card because I'm going to have a layer. I'll have a layer here that will cover that up. So I'm going to lay this aside, and I'm going to go ahead and bring our sentiment in. And you only need two colors. You only need 2 ink pads. I'm using Polished Pink and Mossy Meadow. So I'm going to use Mossy Meadow for our sentiment. So I'm going to bring in thank you. I almost said good luck. One of the cards I'm going to show you, though, at the end, I did use good luck. And then I'm going to try to about in the middle. So you can, if you have grid paper, you can kind of line that up, and that does kind of help. And so I'll stamp this right here. And then that is all of the Mossy Meadow ink that we need. And then let me go ahead and set that aside, and let me go ahead and bring in our layer here to stamp, which I should have done when I had the Polished Pink out, but that's fine. We can do that again right now. You do want to make sure that you have your basic white layer turned the right way, because you don't want to stamp it like this, because you want your basic white cardstock to lay this way. So now I'm going to bring our large flower back in, and this time I am not going to stamp off. So I'm going to go ahead and ink this up. Ink it all the way. Whereas before, when I was doing the background, I didn't put ink at the bottom because I knew that I wasn't going to have that on my card. And then I like to go ahead and turn my card this way to stamp when I have a large block, because my hands are rather small and it works better for me. So I'm going to try to place it about in the middle, and then apply pressure, hang on to the cardstock, and straight up. And now we're ready to put our card together. So I'm going to go ahead and bring in our basic white layer for the inside of our card. And you could put a greeting, you could stamp a greeting in here if you wanted to. And I'm going to be using the liquid glue. And then bring in our card base. Get it lined up. There we go. And now we're going to bring in our basic white layer that we stamped on. And before we adhere this, we're going to add our sentiment. So I'm going to place it about right here. And there's a little bit of extra on each side. So I am going to go ahead and fold that over. Get that lined up. And then I can add a glue dot right there, or I also can just put some adhesive. So I'm just going to bring in a glue dot. And let's see if we can, we'll just put a glue dot. Bring that back out and put a glue dot right here on the piece that we folded. And lay this here and get it like I want. I'm going to bring it down just a little bit. There we go. And then I can fold that under, and that glue dot will adhere right here. And then I'm going to, and I didn't fold this over, I waited because I wanted to make sure then that I would fold it in the right place. And I think I'll just use my Take Your Pick tool and pick up a glue dot and place it right here and fold that over. So I'm going to take that back off because I got a little bit crooked. Let's try that again. So let's line it up like we want. There we go. Now I'm going to go ahead and add dimensionals. But I think I'm going to go ahead and put one more glue dot under here to adhere that just a little bit better. Okay, now we're going to bring in our dimensionals and add those. And here's our dimensionals. I did not plan to add two at the bottom here, but they decided they wanted to be together, so we'll just let that go. Now we'll bring in our card base, and we're going to pop this up about right in the middle. Try to have the same amount at the top and the bottom. And then I can also bring in my glue dots, because if you don't like the way that it's kind of raised like this, kind of raise it up, you can use your Take Your Pick tool, and we can put a glue dot right under there to hold your sentiment down a little bit. Now we're going to bring in some embellishments, and I'm going to bring in our In Color jewels, and these are on page, in our annual catalog on page 142. I'm going to bring in the Take Your Pick tool, and I'm going to use the putty side, and I am going to use the larger polished pink. Pick that up, and I'm going to place that right here. It looks like a little bit of that putty. There we go. And here is our card. Thank you. So again, we made the background with polished pink, the same color as our cardstock, only I stamped off. That way the background would be a little bit lighter, and then our stamped image, which is full strength, would pop. So let me know if you like this card. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, I'd love for you to subscribe. I'm trying to grow my channel. Let me show you the other two cards that I made. So this card I made in Highland Heather, and I made it the same way, only I used a different sentiment, sending healing thoughts, may nature's beauty bring peace to your soul. And I used one of the pastel pearls. So the pastel pearls, which is also in the annual catalog. And then the third card is, I used the card base Pale Papaya, and I did stamp Good Luck on this card. And then I used, for my embellishment, I used the Genio Gems for my embellishment. So here are, let me see if I can get them so you can see them. Here are the 3 cards. And I would love to hear which is your favorite. So leave me a comment down below. Let me know which is your favorite card, whether it's the Polished Pink, the Highland Heather, or the Pale Papaya. I really appreciate you watching. Thank you. Have a great week. I'm Terry Hartley at Rustic Barn Cards.